Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Jonathan Atukwe, and I'm here today to give you a lecture on how to prepare PowerPoint presentations. Now, in my dealing with students, I've noticed that in a bid to sharpen their soft skills, of which presentation is one, they do make certain mistakes. Sometimes they get it right, but I'm here to address those mistakes and help them make better presentations. Let's delve right into it. Now, you need to develop certain skills. One of them is to how to design a PowerPoint template if you want to have a very good presentation. And you also need to prepare the content of a good presentation. You need to plan and organize your presentation. Finally, you need to optimize the presentation, meaning you need to enhance or perfect the presentation. Now, we'll take each of these points one after the other and then delve into them. Now, when you want to design a PowerPoint template, okay, it could be specific or designed towards a particular area. It could be a template for scientific presentation. It could be one for social presentations, or it could be one for a business presentation. So you don't want to give a presentation that is addressing a scientific problem or interchange that with a social presentation. So you need to identify each and every one of these and then be very straight to the point. Now, the ingredients of a good presentation depend on its contents. The first thing, the visual design and the delivery. The content, what are you going to talk about? Is it a scientific presentation, like I said? Is it a business one or a social one? The visual design. I noticed that most students will cramp up so much writings on one slide with no visual objects or visual aids to make people understand. And I keep on telling my students that if I come to lecture or come to class and all I have on my slides are writings, you sleep in class, won't you? So you need to have visual designs, right, to help your audience understand whatever you're doing. And thirdly, your delivery. You need to be very poised, relaxed, and go straight to the point. Do not put anything on your slide that you cannot explain. Is that okay? Now let's talk about the content of a good presentation. Now you notice over here that in terms of content, you need to plan whatever the content is about. Organize the content and then outline, okay? You give a boundary or outline with sketches. So for example, you have different kinds of contents over here. You have an ecosystem, sports, food pairings, friendship and love, famous duos or movies, right? Now all these, how do you link them to form a partnership? That's where organization comes in, right? And then you also need to outline your content. As you move further, you begin to grasp the idea very good. Now, optimization, enhancing or perfecting your presentation. You need to be clear, okay? There should be clarity, relevance. You should include some animation, right? To make your audience feel relaxed and also grasp whatever you're presenting, and there should be a plot. So in terms of clarity, look at this, for example. Assuming you are presenting on types of reservoir rocks as petroleum engineering students, you should make this, okay, the topic very, very bold and big, right? You should highlight that so that whoever you're talking to knows that you're talking about types of reservoir rocks. Then under that, you have subtopics such as sandstone, carbonate, and the dolomites. Okay, so clarity, it should be very clear and concise. Still under clarity, look at this template and look at that template. They are all model developments, right? But you notice that this has got so much writings cramped up. Anybody you're presenting this to will feel sleepy. So what you can do is that you take the salient points out of this model or this template and then you just put them here. Okay, water is removed from the formation by advection, 2 by vaporization, and you have your drawings or your picture clearly labeled instead of cramping each or putting each and every word you want to put there. You put the salient words there and then you explain. That's what you do. Now under clarity, you see an example what I talked about. Okay, if you have an introduction for a presentation, you don't need to write everything over there. Like I said, capture the salient points and then put them as bullet points. Okay, very short, so that whoever you are addressing or your audience will be able to identify or appreciate whatever you are doing. Now we'll talk about relevance. Relevance. Don't put things on your slide that are not relevant to your presentation. So look at this template. Okay, you have an introduction here. Okay, an introduction also here. So these are what introductory templates. But you notice that over here there's some logos. So the question is, what have these logos got to do with your presentation? There's no relevance. So I will go for this template, okay, rather than this. Because whatever you put here, the drawing of a human being's head, and then this logo over here have no relation to whatever you're presenting, right? So you want to keep your template as relevant as possible. Don't put things there that are not relatable. Also, still on relevance, I wouldn't advise that anybody uses this kind of template, okay? You need to have a very simple template in terms of relevance, and then the content put in there. That design over there will not add anything to whatever you are doing. The design will not add anything to whatever you are doing or whatever you are presenting on. Look at this. You have two maps. One of them is on a dark background with a design. What is this background or this picture over here got to do? What has it got to do with this map over here? You want to keep it very plain and simple, right? Now, on animation, it's always good, like I said, to use animative features, right? So you have the main idea, which is fed in by other ideas, and then you can have what details of those ideas at the bottom. Whichever way you want to design your animations for your audience to appreciate, that is fine. Now, on the content, okay, we also talk about plots. When you are building a content for a plot, you first have to make what? A beginning. Meaning you have to make an introductory statement, okay? Keep it very short and concise. You also have to tell us where you are going. Where is your destination? Where is your destination? And then vary the pace. Vary the pace. Meaning you don't have to be too slow all the time or too fast all the time when you are talking. Okay, you need to vary. Sometimes you watch the audience and know when you have to what, quicken your pace or expedite your pace, and know when you what, you need to slow down. And just as you had a beginning, you need to make an end, right? You need to make an end, and then you also leave time for what Q&A. It's always important that when you have a presentation, you allow your audience what to ask questions, and then you respond. In that way, you interact with them, and then you have what a very meaningful presentation. Let's talk about contrast. Look at these two templates. One is on a very clear background. The other is what? It's on a clear background, but with what? The title highlighted. If I look at this template, these all look the same. I don't know what you're talking about, okay? But once you do this, there's contrast. So reservoir rocks, you're talking about what? Reservoir rocks. And anybody who sees this knows that what? You're talking about reservoir rocks. And then you have what? Your definition and explanation down there, and your name, right? But over here, it's all showing the same what? Color, the same background. So contrast is also used very well in presentations, right? Still under contrast, look at this. I hate this information technology lecturer, but I need to pass that exams. Look at the font size of this together with your name. There's no difference, right? But if you want people to know that you really hate the IT lecturer, then you have to put it in bold. The content needs to what? Bolding, okay? In terms of font size, it should be also what? Big. Your name is not really relevant, so that should be what? Small and placed down or beneath the content, right? Contrast in terms of what? The size of what? Your writings. Still under contrast. Paper outline. This is like the previous one. You need to have what? The paper outline, okay? For example, you have an introduction. That should be what? In a black what? Or another color. That what? Goes with whatever background you're using. So everybody sees and know you're talking about what? Paper outline. And on that paper outline, you have what? Introduction, materials and methods, modeling work, and so on and so forth. There should be contrast, okay, for people to get whatever you are. Alignment. Alignment. You want to align whatever you're writing, your captions, okay, together with whatever figures or animations you have. Now, if you look here at this decline curve analysis, okay, you notice that the writings over here are not aligned with this figure over here. But here you can see that what? They are aligned. they are big, right? And they kind of align with the figure over here. You want to also consider that when you are having your presentation. Proximity, look at this. About me, my name is, and then you leave all that space. You don't do this in presentations, okay? You want to what? Keep them what? Closer. That's what proximity means. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. See you another time, and thank you.